This is the M1 Macbook Air, and I've been really enjoying this little laptop. I'm not going to show you all the specs and stuff, just quickly. This is the base model, 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of memory storage, and that's about it. Nothing very special whatsoever. But as you may or may not know, I'm looking for a 4K video file editing device, and I've been across Windows PCs, Windows laptops, even the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I was not very happy with how the video files were edited and how it all works. Sometimes it is very sluggish, sometimes it's very slow, sometimes it's very choppy. I was not very happy, so I was still searching for a 4K editing device. And this M1 MacBook Air, the whole experience was either a hit or a miss. So let me explain in this video what I mean with that. As you may or may not know, I am a wedding photographer, and let's talk about photography first. So from a photographer standpoint, this M1 MacBook Air is actually all you need, to be real honest. I use Lightroom and Luminar to edit my photos, and it works really well, even though those apps are not even optimized yet for the M1 chip. So it goes through Rosetta, some kind of emulation software thingy. Not sure how it works, but it works perfectly fine and actually quite fast as well. Much faster than my old MacBook Pro from 2017, that is. So to me, that is a huge upgrade. I would actually work with this laptop very easily for just photography. But as a YouTuber or somebody that makes a lot of videos, even wedding films, my old MacBook was just too slow, too sluggish, and just for a 15-minute video, it will take up to almost 50 minutes just to render the whole video. And the software that I use for video files or video editing is DaVinci Resolve. This is a slightly optimized version. It's not truly optimized, it's still a beta version. And as you see, just the files that I work with, it works really smoothly. There are no hiccups. The things are not sluggish. Sometimes there is a little bit of a hiccup when you put in some kind of graphics and stuff. It works way better than my old MacBook Pro. So to me, that is a huge upgrade. And also the rendering time, for a 15-minute video, it will be just around 15 minutes as well, sometimes even quicker. It really depends on how many layers and graphics that you have added in your video. So to me, this M1 MacBook Air, just for those two things, photo and video editing, works perfectly fine. And also just web browsing with Google Chrome, it works perfectly fine, watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. But as I mentioned, it is a hit and miss because not all apps are optimized yet. So you have to keep that in mind. If you are somebody that is a professional and you don't work with those apps that I mentioned or that I used, you have to make sure that things are either optimized or workable. I saw that one of my friends had the M1 MacBook Pro, and he was using Final Cut, but his plugins were not working. So he returned the M1 MacBook Pro because he couldn't work with how he usually works. You have to wait a couple of months till everything is optimized so that you know that this will be a great purchase. For me at least, this 8 gigs of RAM, 8 or 256 gigs of memory storage is plenty enough, but I think I will return this as well and upgrade to the 16 gigs just to be a little bit more future proof. And the whole experience, the way that I use it, this is plenty enough for me, plenty enough power and stuff like that. It really works perfectly fine, at least for me. Anyways, you can also download iPad apps and iPhone apps on this device. But to be honest, I just want to use a device that works for me, for my photography and for my filmmaking, and this can do it, right? Also, what I want to mention is that this M1 MacBook Air does not have a fan. And that is something that is really overlooked by a lot of people sometimes, that, oh, it doesn't have a fan, it's good, it's great, it's silent. But the benefit of having a silent device is more than just having a quiet workplace. It's just that you can bring this everywhere that you want. If you got children, let me know in the comment section down below. Then it's sometimes hard to work at night because your fan is all around and just makes a lot of noise. Sometimes you'll be like, man, I wish my device was a little bit more quiet. This is a really great machine for that. If you want to edit, for instance, next to your kid's bed or something, if you know what I mean, right? Then this is a really great option. This laptop will make no noise at all. It does get a little bit warm, but never really hot, at least in my experience. So yeah, that's all guys. Thank you again for watching. Subscribe to the channel if not already. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want to know more about the M1 MacBook Air. But other than that, man, this is a really great device, at least for me. Alright, stay safe, stay healthy. See you in the next one.